What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy J-Narc. As you guys can see, this is the playoff picture after wild card weekend. We have Ravens versus Texans, Chiefs versus Bills, Niners versus Packers, and Lions versus Buccaneers. And in this video, we're going to see what if all these teams in the divisional round, their quarterbacks were to swap teams with the team they're playing against. Here we got Brock Purdy on the Packers, Jordan Love on the Niners. Hey, he fits the scheme too. Josh Allen on the Bills, or on the Chiefs rather. Jared Goff on the Buccaneers, which is kind of interesting. I feel like things will still play out the same. Patrick Mahomes on the Bills, that'd be a crazy video. Or just crazy season in general if he was on that squad. Lamar Jackson on the Texans, that's pretty tough as well too. And CJ Stroud on the Ravens, and he fits the squad perfectly too in terms of the scheme. And obviously we're going to see if these teams can replicate their success and make it to the postseason. I think that's fair. I mean, I would have played a game had I chose the right team to use, but it's interesting to see how things could fare out. And so we're going to sim to the middle of the season. I want to see how well they'll do, all these teams. And I'm thinking probably similar results. I mean, playoff quarterbacks right now should probably lead their team, right? They should be probably doing well by the middle of this season. Bro, middle of the season, the Packers are 2-4. Lions are 5-2 with Jared Goff, or with Baker Mayfield, my bad. And that's interesting. That's interesting. Offense is 20. Brock Purdy has 6 touchdown passes and 4 picks. Okay. Baker Mayfield has 8 touchdowns and 5 picks, but they're 5-2. And then we go over to the Niners where Jordan Love is. 13 touchdowns, 6 picks, 109 pass rating. So Jordan Love is being Jordan Love. And next team we're going to go up to is the Chiefs. Josh Allen has 12 touchdowns, 4 picks on the season so far. We go to the Buccaneers. Jared Goff, 8 touchdowns, 2 picks isn't bad either. Bills, Mahomes, 15 touchdowns, 3 picks. All right, so he's probably doing the best out of everyone. And then when we go over to the Texans, Lamar has 8 touchdowns, 6 picks. Not really going crazy with throwing the ball, so that scheme probably doesn't work well with him. And then when we go over to the last team, which would be the Ravens, 14 touchdowns and 3 picks for CJ. He has 72 completion percentage and a 114 pass rating. So obviously they're succeeding with having CJ there. So some teams are doing well, some teams aren't. And as the Packers are 2-4 on the season, we look at the standings. Bills with Mahomes are 7-0. Okay. CJ Stroud and the Ravens are 6-1. Jordan Love and the Niners are 6-1. Josh Allen and the Chiefs are 5-2. So is the Lions being 5-2. Buccaneers are 4-2. So pretty much everyone's doing well except the Texans with Lamar and the Packers with Brock Purdy. So looks like squads are the big issue here. But only 2 teams out of I want to say the 8 teams that are playing aren't doing well. So that's actually not bad considering they all swap teams. So with that being said, we're going to sim to the playoffs and see who's made it and who didn't. Packers ended up going 7-10. Lions went 14-3 with Baker. That's insanity. We're going to look at the playoff bracket. So obviously with Brock Purdy on the Packers, that didn't work out. Cowboys went number 1, but nobody's worried about the Cowboys. Jordan Love and the Niners were the number 2 seed. Lions play the Buccaneers again as the number 3. Lions are number 3 seed and Buccaneers were the 6 seed. And in the AFC, so wow, the Texans made it, the Ravens made it, the Bills made it, and the Chiefs made it. So the only team that didn't make it was Brock Purdy going to the Packers. So these quarterbacks are the real deal, first and foremost. And it's unfortunate that the Packers sold. Mahomes and Josh Allen were up there in terms of passing, but let's see how the stats look like to finish the season. So offense finished 20th. Brock Purdy was 16 touchdowns, 13 picks. Not that good of a season. And we go down to the Ravens, who made the playoffs. CJ Stroud, 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. It's pretty solid. Texans, who somehow made the playoffs, 29 touchdowns, 9 picks from Lamar Jackson. He probably upped his game because that's phenomenal. And we go over to, I believe, the Bills, who is the closest team here. Bills, Mahomes, 35 touchdowns, 7 picks. Just, man, these guys just did their thing. Jared Goff, 18 touchdowns, 5 picks, but yet they still made the playoffs. Jared Goff didn't even throw the ball too much. And then we go over to the Chiefs, 31 touchdowns, 6 picks for Josh Allen, probably his best stat line ever. And then the Niners, who were the number 2 seed, Jordan Love, 30 touchdowns, 13 picks, 108 passer rating, 72 completion percentage. That all makes sense, honestly. I mean, with having CMC there helping as well. Actually, but with Jared Goff, not Jared Goff, with Brock Purdy being on the Packers, they didn't make the playoffs. They went 7-10. But when he was on the Niners, they went 12-5, I think. But they were the number 1 seed. This one, Niners are the number 2 seed. So I guess you can say that things didn't shape up what they needed to be. And if we take a look at the playoff bracket again, so Bills actually were the number 1 seed. So CJ Stroud and the Ravens were close to being the number 1 seed. So that's not bad. So that Ravens squad is pretty good. Lamar Jackson didn't even win the division with the Texans, but made the playoffs, obviously. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So a lot of different results here, but almost every single team except the Packers were in the playoffs. So that's pretty interesting to see. So we're gonna sim past this first week. The big matchups we got is Niners, Rams, Lions, Buccaneers, Ravens, Dolphins, and Chiefs, Texans. So this is, I'm interested to see what these results will look like. So moving on. So looks like the Dolphins ended up beating the Ravens 34-28. Wow. We look at the game here. Tua went off. Yeah, okay. And then CJ had an okay game. They didn't even throw a touchdown. So, wow. They ended up losing that game 28-34. Jets beat the Colts, so the Aaron Rodgers still in play. And Chiefs blasted the Texans 42-21. So, looks like Josh Allen went off with a 149 passer rating through 4 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson played pretty well, too. So, very interesting how things played out there. And then we go over to the NFC side of things. So Niners ended up losing to the Rams 24 oh no, we ended up winning. They ended up winning, my fault. They ended up winning. They're going to be facing the Lions while the Lions beat the Buccaneers. So Baker Mayfield and the Lions beat Jared Goff and the Buccaneers. But it was a close game though. Very close game. And Jared Goff threw 3 picks for the Bucs. So looks like Baker Mayfield got the better end of that. So in the divisional round, we have Bills with Mahomes versus the Dolphins. And then we have Josh Allen and the Chiefs versus Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. While in the NFC, we got Dak Prescott and the Cowboys versus Jalen Hurts and Eagles. And then Niners versus Lions. So Baker Mayfield versus Jordan Love. That should be a pretty good matchup. All right, so the Chiefs end up beating the Jets, and the Bills end up beating the Dolphins. So we have a Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes AFC Championship. Not surprised. But Cowboys end up beating the Eagles, and they're in the NFC Chip. And then the Niners ended up losing to the Lions 28-31. So it was definitely a tough game. Jordan Love had a good game, and so did Baker Mayfield. I guess it came down to running, but that rush attack, I feel like it was a very even game for sure. So very surprising with these results. And they're in the NFC Chip the first time ever. They got to, not only do they have 1 win, they got 2 wins, which is their first time ever. Lions never go far, so that's crazy. And then Bills versus Chiefs. This should be a good one. So what winner goes to the Super Bowl? So if Baker Mayfield could lead the Lions to the Super Bowl, that would be insane. Bruh. What kind of scoreline is this? The Bills won 11-10. Mahomes and the Bills are in the Super Bowl. They won 11-10 against Josh Allen and the Chiefs. What a weird game. Josh Allen got sacked 5 times, though. So that Bills pass rush was insane. And Josh Allen was the leading rusher, so that's sad. But the Detroit Lions ended up losing to the Cowboys 35-21. Baker Mayfield did his best, but he brought them all the way to the NFC Chip. Dak Prescott went off. I don't know why Madden loves the Cowboys, because they just got spanked by my boys. So makes 0 sense. But Super Bowl is Patrick Mahomes and the Bills versus the Dallas Cowboys. I want to see who made the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl roster, we have Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, and Jalen Hurts on the NFC. And in the AFC, we got CJ Stroud, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. So pretty much all those playoff quarterbacks made it. Mahomes is in a Super Bowl, and Brock Purdy was the only outlier that did not make it. So not bad with swapping teams. The Cowboys end up winning the Super Bowl 34-20. I don't know. I feel like it would have went to the, look, Dak won literally every award. And so basically Madden just loved the Cowboys for some reason. But I honestly think the Bills would have won that game. Dak also won every regular season awards. So I don't know. I guess they're trying to cope. But Patrick Mahomes led this squad to the Super Bowl. Led the Bills to the Super Bowl. So that's pretty cool to see. Mahomes threw 3 touchdowns. So did Dak. So it was a battle. Mahomes got sacked once. Tony Pollard went off, though, while the Bills had no rush attack whatsoever for some reason. Stephon Diggs turned up. So did a lot of other people. But very interesting how things turned out. But they just didn't have a running back. So with these guys swapping teams, it looks like Mahomes would take the Bills to the Super Bowl. Isn't that interesting? What do you guys think down below?